Hey guys, how's it going? It's me again on this beautiful sunny day. I am gonna go over work visas and bringing in foreign workers. I had an experience a couple days ago in a job interview that was just frustrating, and I'll try to get to the point quickly. But first of all, I'll do some background. So this is in Canada. Canada gives out something called a Labor Market Impact Assessment, LMIA. Purpose of this is so the company has to do a job posting, and then they have to do interviews for any Canadian applicants that apply. And they have to prove to the government that there's no one suitable available in Canada for this job. And so it justifies hiring a foreign worker. The problem with this is that it causes these situations where companies will handpick someone ahead of time because it costs money. Uh, so they're just going through the process instead of actually looking for Canadians to hire. So with this one job in particular, when I first saw it, I suspected that it was just a fake. It was just a fake posting in order to get someone over here. And I applied on the government website just so the government could see that there was a qualified Canadian that applied for the job. I'm highly qualified for the job. There were lots of questionable things about the posting. None of it's illegal. Like, none of it points to anything concrete, but it's just red flag. First of all, the title was not what the description was. So basically, the title was for a supervisor. We'll just call it a supervisor. But the description was for an operations manager. So for a bakery. And in that case, you're not going to get people applying for the job that are actually qualified. That's the problem with that. If you put operations manager on there, then you're going to have people applying who are qualified. So first thing. Second thing was, usually for management jobs, it's salary, and this was hourly pay. It was, a pretty good hourly pay for a small to medium sized production facility. So that was the other red flag that was like, this doesn't make sense. And so I suspected that this was just all for pretend. So I applied, and then the owner responded very quickly, which is also not common. And we had an interview set up within the week, and that was a couple days ago. And I wanted to walk into the interview being fair, if this is a good opportunity, sure. But I just suspected that it was all for show, so for fake. So he needed to interview me in order to, say that no, it's not a good fit, like try and find any reason to say it's not a good fit so that he didn't need to hire a Canadian, so that he could get this LMIA approved and get the work visa for someone. So during the interview, did I tell you the stat? So in 2023, 150,000 foreign workers were let into Canada on these LMIAs. At this point, the unemployment rate is around 6.7%, I believe. At one point, it was 7.1%. So, it has gone down a little bit, but still, it's still suffering. Like, it's still, Canadians are suffering. There's not as many jobs, and people are losing jobs. And most of these LMIAs are in industries that are not specialized. So like restaurants, bakeries, retail, trucking, what else? They're not specialized. You can definitely find someone in Canada to do this or to train them to do it. So here's my thing is, like, why let in 150,000 foreign workers when you can find someone in Canada to do that job? And if some training is required, then do it. Like, why are we letting in foreign workers when we have workers here that are able and willing and wanting jobs? So that's the frustrating part, that is just total BS. But the the more the interview went on, it was it was clear. I mean, there were comments made that, so he was working with a bakery in his target country, bringing in interns slash students on these work visas. And I was just like, it's a bakery. Like, you can find colleges here to work with, and there's going to be students, interns that you can hire as well within Canada. Like, what, they need specialized training, like French baking? Well, they got it. Like, you can find something in Canada for that. So, uh, furthermore, he told me, so he's planning on expanding to working with 2 more colleges in his target country. And he also has roots in this target country. So, what else? He has expansion plans, which is great. We went over my resume. I fit very well. Like, it was like a perfect fit for what I could help him do, and the direction and the vision that he had. I have, like, my expertise isn't exactly what he wants to do. And he also told me that he has a friend or a person in his target country that he knows that is willing to come over and help him set up his machinery or equipment for his larger facility. Is like, huh, interesting. A target person, huh? You already know someone that is willing to come over. And that's my whole point, is that if someone's applying for an LMIA, they normally have a target person in mind. They already have someone picked out, because they're not going to spend that money on just like a chance. So they're doing it because there is a person on place. So his job is just to, like, swat away any applicants, any qualified Canadian applicants, and make a reason for it. And this guy is also a lawyer, so it's like, I think he understands this very well on how to get around. So at the end of the interview, this is also rare, very rare, but he rejected me at the end of the interview, and he was saying, "Oh, look, I'm honest. I'm just an honest person, and I just don't think you're going to be a good fit for the smaller, the small kitchen." That's what he called it. But for the larger facility, you will be. So it was just like, just ridiculous. I countered with, I think strategically and logically it would be better to have someone in place with your plans to grow, because they can get to know your staff and help you implement strategy and changes to a larger facility, instead of bringing someone in when you have a larger facility in place. So isn't that the point? I didn't say this, but the point of his, like, this job posting was to help him create a new facility, process line, production line. And yeah, so it was just, okay, that's the reason you want to go with? Okay, that's the reason. So I brought up the LMIA, and I asked him, I noticed that there was an LMIA, and I have experience doing LMIAs, actually applying for LMIAs in the past. And what was the purpose of that? And his response was, that's just to cover my ass. And I was like, I mean, I didn't respond. I was just like, okay, good for you, in terms of, his strategy going forward. And by the end of the interview, by the end of that, and me asking him more questions of how he sees the role in 3 to 6 months, it was just really interesting, super interesting, because he confirmed to me that he was not looking for a Canadian employee. This was specifically for someone in his target country. And I also have to add, so another bit of information is that 95% of his staff currently are from this target country. And I asked him if speaking that language was necessary. He said no, but not everyone spoke English. So it was like, okay, because I mean, he can't really, you can say that language is an asset, but everyone has to speak English. So also another interesting, fun fact, not so fun, but That was my experience. And there's, it's just disheartening. It was just really disheartening that, he used my time and my patience and my effort to just discount it, just part of his process to bring in this friend that's already slated to come help him. So, yeah, I mean, on my end, I guess I got practice interviewing. So that's good for me. I will keep practicing interviewing and I guess keep getting better. So that what's frustrating about interviewing and is probably a whole other topic is just, it's what a lot of people want to see is superficial. It's what's on a resume. And I know that's important. I get it. But there's so much more behind an employee than just the resume. And they have to be qualified to do the job. I understand. But then there's other things like personality or I don't know, like, are they going to fit in the company culture? Like, are they a good employee? They could have all the qualifications, but be lazy and not do what they're supposed to, or, not take accountability. There's so many things, and it's just so disheartening. I think also hiring practices, but this was, I think, by and far, like the most shocking, unfair situation with bringing in foreign workers for jobs that should be available to Canadians. And I think that the LMIA, the foreign workers, should be zero. There should be zero LMIAs given out or any work visas given out to anyone. There are people in Canada for these jobs. Like all they might need just a little training, but I think that's a move the government should make at this point. Whenever, like, if the unemployment rate goes above a certain amount, the government should lock down any foreign work visas, period. There's training, there should be opportunities for Canadians first. That's my opinion. That's what I think. Take care of your own before you bring in outside workers. So yeah, hope you guys have a good day and we'll catch you later. Bye.